Good morning, love bugs. I wanted to come on here because, first, thank you to everyone in our community who shared what occurred with me last night. I was in an accident. I am okay. And I'm not just saying I am okay. Physically, I am okay. I am safe. It is the next day, and now it is time for me to pick up pieces and keep pushing forward. In this moment, there are so many things that I am learning. There are so many things that I am being tested on. There are paths I have never walked across in my life. And there are people who I have come to know and learn. And I understand that in all of these things, there is definitely a learning. There's a learning opportunity in all of it. And I also understand that sometimes in life, there will be places and patches in your world where you didn't quite get things. And in that moment, God decides this is the right time for you to learn it. And I say that, and I am not saying that it's necessarily a negative or a bad thing, because life is about experiences and growing. And in our own time, we sometimes pick and choose and do things backwards. I'm not any different than anyone else, or guilty or not guilty of doing that. I started my life path off as a young mother and a wife, while everyone else was in their 20s and playing and learning and discovering who they are. I say that to say this, that you'll come to portions in your world and it will feel as it feels like for me right now, that, my God, everything is happening right now. And that's not necessarily the truth. Sometimes some things are just part of the life process. And two things can be true at the same time. Things can be happening while you are working towards or achieving something else. And in that moment, you just have to face it and figure it out. Sometimes we don't have the answers, nor do we have the solutions. But I do know this much. I have been granted a lot of different gifts. The gift of compassion, the gift of empathy, the gift of generosity, the gift of intelligence, the gift of critical thinking and common sense. And with those things, it makes up who I am. And I've decided to share those things with the world. And sometimes when I share things, they're not necessarily things that other people necessarily like to hear. But I'm old enough and experienced enough now to know that telling the truth and standing up for what's right is what is important. The line of work I am working so diligently towards, it is necessary. And the things that I share, though I may be talking about our nephew and football, I'm genuinely sharing with you how these things work, and they play across a universal plateau of life. What Shadur is going through, what I'm going through, the neighbor across the street, the nice old lady at church, we all share a common ground of adversity, obstacles, and no. And we all just have to figure out how we are going to overcome that and continue to be successful. Delayed does not mean denied. And sometimes you got to go back to the drawing board. I've had to do a lot of going back to the drawing board in order to get to the finish line. But I won't be discouraged, nor will I be deterred. And I'm very grateful to know that in my creativity and in the essence of who I am, I have managed to put together and come up with some pretty neat things. And one of those things is the amazing community that I have here. So, with that being said, thank you. I appreciate all of your well wishes, your text messages, and your continued support. I really do. And just like everything else, there will be a solution. And the finish line, I will get there. So as always, my love bugs, protect your peace and your mental health.